Welcome to Advocacy in Motion, the Red River edition. We are here at the wonderful Split Window Podcast Studios in downtown Denison to give a vision and a voice to nonprofit organizations and individuals making a difference in the Grayson County area. And before I introduce my guest today, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Niagara Conservation. Niagara is the leading manufacturer and distributor of water-saving, cost-saving plumbing products. And we really appreciate their support of over 50 nonprofit organizations that have been featured on Advocacy in Motion, and including the 12 Grayson County nonprofits featured on this podcast throughout the summer. So we want to say thank you again to Niagara. My guest today is James Hamilton.
How are you? Thank you for having us on.
So glad you're here. Good. Welcome to us. And tell us what you do. Your title, CASA, is
Executive Director.
Executive Director of CASA. And where are you located in this area?
We are in Sherman, Texas. We're downtown at 100 East Jones Street. So we are right there downtown, catty corner from the courthouse.
Okay. Well, very good. Tell us about CASA. They've been around a while. I know they're in a lot of areas. Tell us about the background of CASA, what you guys do, your mission.
Well, CASA in Grayson County, we've been around since 1993. Judy McGraw was one of our first volunteers, so anybody that's local probably knows who Judy is. But our local program started in 1993. The original CASA, it started in 1977 with Judge Sokup out of Seattle, and that's really what started this change in the United States and court advocacy for kids.
Okay, it's court-appointed special advocacy
Yes.
for kids. Tell us a little bit about the overall program. I know there's National CASA, we have a Texas, and then the local branches. How do those work together, and what's the basic format of CASA?
So, like you said, and thank you for pointing that out, we're court-appointed special advocates. So we work in the child welfare system. If a child is removed for abuse or neglect, what we do is we work to train volunteers, support the volunteers in serving them throughout that court process. So it can range from seeing a child at their placement or testifying in court. It can be a number of different things, but the whole purpose is to provide the best interest or inform the court of the best interest of that child.
And as I understand it, your volunteers pretty much stay with that child, represent that child for periods of time. I mean,
Yes,
it's
sir.
an ongoing process.
Yeah, the process goes for about 18 months. That's usually the standard, 18 months. If a child is not able to be placed permanently, either adopted or returned back home, then that case could go on for several years. We tend to see that with teenagers. It can be difficult to place a teenager sometimes.
Tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get involved with CASA and where you are?
My story, I started in the juvenile justice system. When I was in college, I was working at a gas station, and one of the guys there was working full time for the Hunt County Detention Center, juvenile detention center, and so I thought, well, let me give that a try and let's see what happens there. And I really fell in love working with kids that are at risk. So I did that. Came over here to Grayson County, worked at the juvenile department in Grayson County, and it led me here. And so it's a little bit of a change. Worked with at-risk youth that are in one area in the juvenile justice system, but it translates over into the child welfare system as well when you're looking at what these children are experiencing, the trauma that they experience, and really the support that's needed for them to be successful.
And how long have you been with CASA?
Since 2019, so we're going 5 years.
Very good.
5 years.
Now, you mentioned the child welfare system, and I know that's extremely complicated process.
Yes, it is.
And I know it seems to be always changing. Tell us a little bit how you interact with that and where you are today with with the system?
Okay, so the child welfare system, it has now changed over to the Health and Human Services. It's under the Health and Human Services Commission. It is Department of Family Services here in Texas, and we primarily work with kids that have been removed for abuse and neglect, and they're placed in conservatorship, or they're placed in a home outside of their original home. And so our goal is, at the end of the day, is to get these kids either back at home or in a permanent placement. It's changed a little bit over time. In 2017, the state of Texas decided to go into what they call community-based care, which is a different way of looking at the child welfare system. And the ultimate goal is for kids that are removed from Grayson County, they're to remain in Grayson County, so that they have that support system that maybe they had in their school, church, or just really anybody in the community that they may have made a connection with. In 2021, I think it was the 87th legislative session, where Grayson County was picked, a part of several other counties, to be a part of start this transition. And so another difference of that CBC is that it takes that conservatorship, that part of the child welfare system that we work in, and it puts it under a private organization, which they call an SSCC, or a single source continuum contractor. And what that basically means is it falls under a private organization now. So it went from a state organization to a private organization, and we're going through that transition now. That full transition started in March of this year. So we're seeing the challenges of that.
Is it an improvement? And then the new changes and the new challenges, do you think this is heading in the right direction? It's
too early to tell. What we've noticed, we are I think we're the third round of counties that are going through this transition. And what we do know is it's going to take 2 or 3 years for it to settle out. The advantage, and I think that we hope to see this, is that kids stay closer. Right now we have kids anywhere in the state of Texas. We have some in Beaumont, we have some in San Antonio, Houston, Austin. And so kids are being removed from Grayson County, and they're traveling 5 or 6 hours away to a completely new environment.
Really?
Yeah, and so that's really, if that can be a success, and the community-based care really takes off, and kids can stay close to home, that's going to be a huge win for the kids that we serve.
I can see that it would be. I didn't realize that they could be that far apart or be moved that far out.
Yes. Yeah.
Your employees, your volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
I know they are so integral to what you're doing, and we've been fortunate to work and talk with CASA in other areas, and just see the dedication of those volunteers and stuff. Tell us about, I see you.
Oh, I love talking about our volunteers. I love it. They are our heartbeat. They are the most integral part of our program. The heart and the passion that they carry is it's incredible. We have, right now we're sitting at about 42 volunteers, and these are people that give up their time to serve these kids. They testify in court, and the passion that they bring, and the impact that they make is something that a lot of times they don't see, but you can see the heart that they give.
I know you can tell that. How do you find volunteers, or what's required to be a volunteer, or and we'll come back to this many times, but tell us how you can get in touch to become a volunteer. Do you have a website or whatever? Yeah,
we have our website. It's www.casagrayson.org. We have just about any one of the pages that we have. It'll have become a CASA. You have to be 21 years of age, be able to pass a background check, and then you just got to have that heart to want to serve. a lot of times we get people that are interested in volunteering, and they'll go, well, I think I'd get too connected to the child, and it would be too hard for me. And I may mention this a couple of times. Leanne, one of our volunteers, one of our veteran volunteers, she quotes this, and I love telling potential volunteers, you want to get too connected. You really, it's okay. It's okay to do that, because when you do that, you make an impact.
Do you have some really success stories? Is there some that I know you're proud of all of it. I know your volunteers are proud of all of this, and certainly should be, but something special that you can tell us about, special case or special results?
We've had a number of stories where we have parents that they're really struggling. Of course, their kids are taken from them for an extended period of time, and they really do the work to get over those hurdles and improve themselves. And when you see a parent that starts off in the system that is really struggling, and then by the end they're empowered, and they have a support system, and they feel like for once that they're going to be okay. Being able to see them be reunited with a child that has also gone through the trauma of being removed, but has to overcome some of those traumas of what they've dealt with, and being able to see them come back together and be reunited I think that is the most incredible experience that we see. I think only second to that is when you see a child be adopted and placed into a home that they've really never been in. And when I say never been in, but never been in that truly loving, supportive home. And when you see the smiles on their face, and you see the fresh parents, looking at them like, look at the future that they have, and where they're going to be able to go in life after all the things that they've been through. It's incredible.
Tell us a little bit about the adoption process itself, how you guys are involved, and what some people out there might need to know about if they want to adopt or want to learn about it. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
So it is a part of the system. There are adoption agencies. Now it is all done through private adoption agencies. Not that there's one better than the other, but I always refer to CK. It's a local adoption agency. But if you're interested, that I would reach out to one of those. But like I mentioned earlier, it's an 18-month process. So if a child is removed, parents, rightfully so, have an opportunity for 18 months to work services and hopefully get their family back. If not, then at that point a judge is going to make a decision that child needs to be adopted. So there's two parts of it for adoption, for foster care. You can be a foster to adopt placement, which is ultimately the end goal you would have an opportunity to adopt a child, or you can be just a foster placement. And that is for children that are going through the system and just need a loving home while they're going through the system. That's probably the most important and the most needed in our community now. Are homes that are just going to open their home for as long as it's needed, and support the people involved, especially the parents, and hopefully get these children back home if at all possible. There is some licensing. I'm not real familiar with the licensing, but there is a huge need. Talking about the CBC, community-based care, the only way Texas is going to reach their goal in having placements within the child's removal area is if we have foster homes here. And there are a number, I think we're looking at, don't quote me on the number, but I believe it's about 25 kids that if we could find foster homes, licensed foster homes for those kids, we could have every child remain in Grayson County.
Oh, that'd be great. And
Yes.
I know that's your goal. Keep the kids here and with the families.
Yes.
That is something else. What kind of support do you need from the community? I know nonprofits, there's always fundraising, there's always events or things or programs to get involved in volunteers. Tell us about how the community can help you.
First of all, is become an advocate. That is the most important. Right now, we have 2 children in care that do not have a CASA, and so we want to serve every child that goes through the system. And so, if you have the heart to do that, we want to get you involved. We also have Helping Hearts, which is it's a little bit. It's not an advocate role, but it's really there to support advocates that are in the field. Excuse me. We've a lot of the time we transport children. We're able to. Our volunteers are able to transport children, and so we always like to have another person in the car, or especially for our teenagers and preteen kiddos. A lot of times when they're in a placement, they want to go and they want to do something. And so when we're able to go and pick up a child, take them somewhere whether that's just to get ice cream, go out to eat, go shopping. And it's always there. It's always nice to have a helping heart there that can do that with them, so that there's multiple people for that child to talk to. So a lot of times, if we have a volunteer that is interested in volunteering and becoming a CASA advocate, then we will say, well, how about your spouse? Would your spouse like to be a part of it as well? Let's get them trained to be a helping heart, so you guys can do it together, and it can be an opportunity for a family to make an impact on a child.
Okay, that's terrific. I know there's got to be people out there who want to get involved. I know volunteering is so much fun. It benefits the volunteer and the cause. That's near and dear to their heart, and we do want to encourage people to whatever it is that they would like to help out. There's always someone in the community that can use the help, whatever they're doing. What have I missed? Is there something you'd like to add? And then please tell us anything we've missed. I know we've had some notes and we talked about some things. What's coming up in the future? Is there anything coming in the future? Let's start there.
We've got a couple of things going on. In July 15th starts a new training session, so that's always important. We want to have that. So if anybody is interested, they can go to our website. They can fill out an application, and we'll try to get them into this next training. It's a 30 hours worth of training. It's usually 2 days a week for a few hours in the evening. And so that would be the next opportunity to get involved. We also have a CASA closet, and there's been such a great response for this closet. And in this closet, we have toys, clothing. It's supplies for any child that's in care. This last year, it was a overwhelming number of people that provided for this closet, so much so that we don't have enough room anymore to hold all these things, and we can't get it out fast enough. So we're going to hold a garage sale on August 8th, and all that money is going to go into our closet fund. What we found out, and what our advocates really speak of when it comes to being able to help kids out in whether it's clothes or toys, is for that child to be able to pick out a toy or pick out their own clothing.
Right. Okay.
And so what we ask, and what this will go to, the garage sale or any sort of donation, we get gift cards for the kids, and our volunteers are able to go shopping with them, and they're able to pick out their own stuff. And for them, for our kids, it's incredibly important, because for a time they don't. Especially going through this process and being removed from their home, a lot of things are out of their control, and this is one small opportunity for us to go. Okay, look, you have control of this. You go pick out something that you want. You've been told where you have to go, where you have to live. Let us do one small thing and let you pick out clothes, and it's important for our kids to be able to have that opportunity.
That is terrific. Again, tell us how people can get involved, how they can donate to the closet or they come to the garage sale, and get in touch one more time.
Okay, so we've anything that we have going on, you can always go to our website. We do have a Facebook page. I forget about throwing that out there. We have a Facebook page that you can like, and we put information on there of our events. We also have a CASA support. If you want to become an official CASA supporter and just donate monthly, maybe you don't have enough time to volunteer but want to be involved, that is also on our website, and you can do a monthly donation. We also have our annual fundraiser. This will be 27th year of our chocolate indulgence, which is pretty popular in this area. It'll be in February. We don't have the exact date yet, but we're going to. It'll be somewhere in Grayson County. It's a night, dinner, dancing. We'll get a DJ, and then there's two huge tables full of number of different chocolates. We'll do an auction out of them, and all the funding comes right back to our program so that we can serve the kids. We do get, just as a lot of people ask, if what kind of funding we get. We do get some federal and state funding, but usually that is enough to cover staffing so that we can staff our program. Anything else, it goes directly to serving our kids. So the ability the more funding we're able to get in, the more we're able to do for our kiddos. That
is terrific. Well, I appreciate you being here. And I mentioned earlier about Niagara's contribution to supporting this show and their support of nonprofit organizations. But we also want to mention that they are also an innovator in bathroom experiences and high-tech hygiene for the future. So if you're ready to upgrade your bathroom experience and revolutionize your hygiene experience, say hello to a more refreshing experience. I want to read this right because they told me to. With Niagara's Hydrotech Bidet seat. You can get yours today on Amazon because Niagara has saved you a seat. And thank you, Niagara, for allowing us to visit with James and with CASA. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity.
All right, very good. Thanks.
Thank you.